Yo, what's going on, everybody? Let me know if you can hear me. Shout out to Marshman. Shout out to Big Play Slate. What's going on? How is everyone Saturday? Wanted to go live today talking about Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker is expecting to sign a deal with the Dallas Cowboys. We kind of expected this already to transpire with Malik Hooker going on, to the Dallas Cowboys. I made a video a while ago. And Dallas was one of those teams that was interested in him. And yeah, so they're looking like they're going to be close to getting the deal done. I think they're just waiting on the physical. So, yeah, that's a nice pickup for Dallas if we're being honest. I think if Dallas is actually looking at acquiring a safety like Malik Hooker, they're getting a good quality safety. Especially when healthy. You get a guy like Hooker who can go out there. They play really good in coverage, and that's one of the things that the Cowboys kind of lacked was a safety that goes out there and played in coverage. And, going out there to get Malik Hooker, who is available because the Colts didn't want him back, I think that's a very solid pickup. So I'm looking forward to seeing them get the deal done. I'm excited for Malik Hooker for actually, getting the team to go get him. Like I said, I know there was going to be a team to pick him up. It was no question, no brainer. Never was. Like I said, the other teams that were interested was like the teams like the Dolphins, and then the Dallas was another team. But like I said, it was a bunch of teams that could use a guy like Malik Hooker, and with his talent and with his capabilities and what he can do when he's on the field, I feel like he'll fit Dallas very well. I was looking at the depth chart for Dallas, and then when you look at their safeties, they got guys like Reggie Robinson the second, DeMonte Kazi, Tyler Coyle. Then when you look at the strong safety, Donovan Wilson, Israel, Jerron Curse, Darian Thompson, and Stephen Parker. You look at these safeties, and you're like, the guy like Malik Hooker can plug in at any moment and really be a good asset for sure for that roster. So I think it's going to be a good pickup for Dallas. Like I said, we're still waiting on the physical side. I think they're going to have the deal done sooner or later. This is his second visit. He already been on one before. Like I said, I think the deal is already done. He'll be in Dallas soon, if anything. Like I said, they could use a guy like him. When you look at his stats for all the stats guys, his best year was probably 2019. 51 combined tackles, 21 assisted, 2 interceptions. 2018, he had 44 tackles and 14 assisted, 2 interceptions as well. Then his best year for catching interceptions was his rookie year. He had 3. So when he is on the field, he's definitely a guy that can go get the football. That's no question. I think any Colts fans could attest to that. Can attest to Malik Hooker and his ability to play the ball to go get it. Malik Hooker is definitely a dog for sure. So I think, having a pick artist that can go out there and get interceptions like Malik Hooker, that's his specialty. I think that'll really benefit the Dallas Cowboys in that secondary for sure. Mike Blessing said, I wish the Colts would have let him play another year for sure. Absolutely, man. I love Malik Hooker. If you guys can see, I'm repping the Ohio State shirt for him. I was really looking forward to getting him out the draft. That was one of the guys I wanted in that draft. And when we got him, I was like, all right, bet. Because I knew how much of a product he could be with us. It didn't pan out, of course, due to the injuries and everything. But him and Quincy Wilson are the only 2 players I could really rate for on the defense in the draft that I was looking forward to getting. I really like Quincy Wilson coming out of college. And, of course, the NFL is a different story. But Quincy Wilson and Malik Hooker are 2 guys coming out of college that I really wanted on Indianapolis. And when we got them, I thought they were going to do something. Of course, Malik Hooker did make noise. But, like I said, the injuries caught up with him. It was unfortunate. But, like I said, he got blessed with that opportunity to play football again. Looked like it's going to be in Dallas. I'm happy for Malik Hooker, man. Definitely happy for it. I think he's going to really ball out there, too. He's in a really good division that can really let the top off at any moment. He can really go crazy in that division, especially for teams against like the Giants, when you can air raid with Danny Dimes. He's going to be throwing the football. Hooker's going to be really lurking on that. And even the Eagles is another team that he can really produce against 2 times a year. So I think Hooker going to Dallas, especially being in that division, can definitely boost him to get a big deal in the future. because I think that team he could really benefit from that team. So definitely think that's a good move. There's still a lot of free agents out there that could be acquired, which is the crazy thing. There's a bunch of free agents out there. You got guys like Steven Nelson, Mitchell Schwartz. I think that I've seen David DeCastro, Brian Poole, Russell Okung. Justin Houston is still out there from my knowledge. KJ Wright, Olivia Vernon, they're all available. I've seen a few running backs like Le'Veon Bell was out there. Trey Boston, Jarrell Casey still out there. Geno Atkins, Kawan Short, Todd Gurley, Duke Johnson, Deion Lewis, I believe, was in there. It's a bunch of free agency talent that's still available. If anybody wanted to acquire someone out of free agency to make a play, I think there's still a bunch of talent out there. Any other sports talk was going on, but I still think it's a lot of talent in free agency. The list goes on and on. I think it's like really a lot of good people. Looking at the list right now, of course, you still got Alshon Jeffrey and Trey Burton in there. Josh Gordon, he qualified to come back. Let's see. Snack Harrison, I think he's in Green Bay. But Tyler Eifert. I think Josh Norman is still a free agent. Who knows what system he can benefit in at any moment. D.D. Westbrook, I'm pretty sure he's about to get a deal done from what I've heard. Jabal Sheard, I think he's a free agent. Jesse James. Yeah, there's Deion Lewis right there. Chris Thompson. There's a bunch. Like I said, it's a bunch of talented people. Des Bryant is still in free agency. Tavon Austin is in free agency, from my knowledge. Ziggy Ansah. I seen Shaquille Griffin just got signed to the Jaguars, if I believe. He is a corner. I think he just got acquired to Jacksonville after leaving Seattle. TJ Yeldon, that's the name I haven't heard in a while. That's in free agency. A bunch of names. DJ Swearinger is still in there. Ito Smith, I remember him. But yeah, it's a bunch of talent. A bunch of talent in free agency that can still be acquired. Mike said, bring back Houston. He said, bring Houston back. He's good for the locker room also. Yeah, man, he's a good locker room guy. I forgot who stream I was on, and we were talking about Justin Houston. I was like, I mean, if we're going to use him as a spirit animal, because I really don't think I trust him on the field right now. If we'll use him as a spirit animal or anything, or like an energizer boost to the locker room, I'm all in. I'm all in on bringing back Houston. But playing wise, I'm not really sold on playing Houston, especially at that age. Like I said, he could still be a product in anywhere, but I thought my intentions were really thinking that Houston is going to finish out his career in Kansas City. I think he's going to go back there, especially with all the controversy going on in Kansas City right now, especially with their edge rush. I think Houston will get signed back there and finish his career there. That'll probably be a smart option. There or Baltimore. But I think for sure he's going to end it in Kansas City. They can definitely use one right now, especially after what's going on currently with Kansas City defensive players. They can't stay out of trouble. So Justin Houston could definitely be a boost for that line if he goes back to Kansas City, especially to what they have now. Like I said, this is no knock on the talent that they have right now that's available. But I think Justin Houston would probably be the best fit for Kansas City if they were going to look for another person. There's a bunch of still like I said, there's over 100 talented people in free agency that can be acquired at any moment that can help a locker room easily, or that pretty much had a decent year and that I feel like that can bounce back. There's a bunch of old guys in here too. Guys like Bruce Irvin, he's about to be 34 if I'm not mistaken. Devontae Freeman is still in free agency. Michael Kendricks, like I said, Jabashir's 33, and he's not on the roster. There's a bunch of offensive linemen in here. Avery Williamson, he had a few solid years. He's in free agency. It's a bunch of talented people. How do you guys think Houston? How do you think Hooker's going to play in Dallas? I think he'll do. I think he'll do okay. Shout out to the lurkers. I appreciate you. Prince Amukamara is still in free agency. I haven't heard that name in forever. I can actually show you guys the list instead of just going off on the names. I know you guys are probably like, what is he talking? Like, where is he getting this information from? Here we go. All right, so here's the list. And this was updated 2 days ago, by the way, so I wouldn't be just saying the names. So here's the list of all the available free agents. There's a bunch of offensive linemen out there. I know for some Colts fans that are not sold on Sam Tevi. I know you guys are probably looking at those tackles. Sherman is still in there, even though we know what his situation is currently going on. So we'll see how that goes. KJ Wright. I'm surprised KJ Wright is not on the roster. Le'Veon Bell, he's pretty much on the end of his career, almost. You know, he's about to hit 30, so you know how that age is for those running backs. That it really doesn't last long, well, production-wise. It doesn't last long for certain running backs, especially for a guy like Le'Veon Bell, who had his ups and downs. I think he had a really good moment in his career when he played for Pittsburgh, but now after the injuries, he's on the downside of his career. He just can't find the right system. He's still in free agency. Trey Boston is another safety that Dallas could have tried to acquire. But I think, like I said, I think out of all the safeties, that's not Kenny Vaccaro. Out of all the safeties that's in this list, I think Hooker is probably the best fit. They had Jeff Heath already, and that didn't work out. That experiment was kind of bad. Jarrell Casey, Kawan Short, and Geno Atkins are all good. All good linemen, I think, in my opinion, that can pretty much boost the roster in any way. Geno Atkins is 34 almost, but he's still a good asset. He's really still a good asset. I think he will play lights out. He has something to the Colts. Yeah, potentially. He's just he did a Instagram. I think he did like a Q&A on Instagram, and he was basically saying that he just wanted something new. So it was no knock against the Colts or anything. I think he just wanted to change the scenery. And most players will get tired of the same place. So definitely a change of scenery is definitely a good thing. Not mad at that at all. Not mad at that. Todd Gurley, I'm not really sold on Gurley anymore. You know, the injuries he had with his knees and everything. I don't think he'll be I think he'll just be a liability at this point. I think he's a good depth spot just in case for like goal line touchdowns or anything. I think Todd Gurley would be a good fit for that purpose. But I don't know. I'm not really sold on Todd Gurley anymore. When you look at, a guy like Jordan Wilkins, most people talk about Jordan Wilkins a lot, like in the trade rumors, because some people think he's going to be on the way out the door. Most people are, trying to come up with these probabilities of trading him, which is kind of ideal. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Colts are going to do with him because we got a lot of running backs, and I don't think he's going to get any type of play with the production that we have, especially with the potential that we have as well. I don't see Wilkins getting any type of play going into next season. So, I mean, we can get him for draft capital for sure. I'm pretty sure there's a team out there that can use a running back like Wilkins and give us a draft pick. You ask me what team? I don't know. I know the Rams are stacked up on picks, but they're pretty much loaded at this point, so they wouldn't really need draft picks. I mean, if they're willing to give us something for Wilkins, that'd be nice. Like I said, Wilkins could fit pretty much anywhere. Like I said, I think he's going to be out the door sometime soon. Trent Murphy is 30. He's in free agency. Larry Fitzgerald retired, so he don't even need to be in there. Kenny Stills. Dennis Kelly's in there. Danny Amendola. Very old. He's 35. Pretty much 30. Technically 36, basically. Snacks Harrison. Adrian Claiborne is still in free agency. Said we made a huge mistake not going after Julio. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. I really wanted Julio, too. I really did. I really wanted Julio. I think Julio would have fitted nice, and I think he would have fitted nice in Indy. Because I just wanted a true number one receiver, you know. I think a true number one would have, you know, gave us that extra boost that we're looking for. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, I guess we like competition, so now we'll be facing him 2 to 3 times a year, possibly. But 2 times for sure. I mean, if we play him in the playoffs, that'll be 3 times. But hopefully we'll figure it out. It's going to be a very tough season going against the Titans this year, who's pretty much almost loaded, potentially on the roster, on depth chart, on paper, basically. So that should be a good one, a good thing to see. But yeah, I just wanted to update you guys about the current situation with Malik Hooker. He'll be signing with Dallas soon. He should be signing soon. So when it becomes official, I may drop a video about it and share my thoughts. But I just wanted to get the live stream to get your reactions on it too. If you are watching this post stream, I appreciate each and every one of you that tuned in. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the YouTube channel. Also, follow me on all social platforms. The links are in the description. If you guys have any questions for me before I get up out of here, feel free to let me know. Appreciate Lawrence for stopping by. I expected this months ago. Yeah, man, I made a video like a while ago when the rumors started swirling around with Malik Hooker. I was like, yeah, Dallas definitely. I mean, they should have signed him first before signing those other 2 guys that had ACL injuries. I thought that was kind of crazy that they would go for Hooker so late, you know. This is just a free agency list of players that's available if you haven't seen it already. There's no real. I mean, like I said, there's good product in here. But due to the ages that they're currently in, I don't really see them being any good, except for Deion Lewis. I think Deion Lewis is probably the best acquisition out of this free agency market. The fact that Deion isn't on a roster right now is kind of crazy. I mean, but you know, everyone has a history, but I think he can still be an asset. And I was thinking, like I said earlier, I think Hooker is probably the best safety on that roster if he is signed. I think he's the best safety on that roster, hands down. What he can do, like I said, he can be better at tackling, but we all seen his good days when he is tackling. So I think he's a really good safety that could fit for Dallas because they do need a guy that can pretty much ball hawk and get the football when it is thrown in the air. I mentioned him in the division as well. I mentioned him playing in that division will really, you know, boost his play. Let's see what Lawrence said. Okay, he said, interesting, they'll be signing 3 injured safeties. ... LOL. Maybe they should have gotten one and knew they would be 100% what you see on film. All 3 had possible performing hampering injuries. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess it's desperate times for desperate measures at this point. Especially, you know, Malik Hooker playing in a big market now in Dallas. Going to be a lot of TV time and everything. I feel like he's going to really, if he can bounce back from this injury, if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to really emerge as being one of the best safeties. especially in this system. Because if you look at the history of safety that played for Dallas, they never really had that true safety. I think Hooker is probably going to be he's going to be a good fit for them. I think he is. I'm not saying he's going to be the best safety in the NFL, but I think for that division purpose, I think he can really produce very well going into next season. Also, looking at the Dallas' schedule, yeah, I was literally saying that to a Cowboys fan earlier. I said if they sign Hooker, he'll get 3 interceptions next year from Philly alone. Yeah, I mentioned that Philly and possibly the Giants with Danny Dimes. If he's air raiding, Hooker's definitely going to, he's going to dial in. Especially if Dallas's pass rush is showing up, I think Hooker can really ball out against the Giants. I think he can really ball out. I mean, but it's a big question mark for that division, except for Washington. But all the 3 teams is up in the air. Zeke cut back and weight. Dak Prescott is back. They got really showing potential in CeeDee Lamb. I seen some plays he did earlier in training camp. So if it's not Washington or Dallas, it's pretty much washed up in that division. You already know who's going to win it. So, like I said, Hooker's going to definitely ball out in that division. All they have to do is sign him. That's all they have to do is just get the deal done. I think they're waiting on a physical, if I'm not mistaken. They're waiting on a physical from Hooker. So, yeah. All right. Go to if anyone has a question really quick, I'll be sure to answer it. If not, I'm going to pretty much get ready to shut it down. I have some stuff to do, but I just wanted to stream really quickly. Been live for 20 minutes. He said, I know Aaron Rodgers is linked to the Broncos, but I can't get out of my head how good Washington football. They really would, man. They really would. Washington football team will be phenomenal with Aaron Rodgers. The culture is changing. If this was the old Washington football team, with the old coaching staff and management, I would not like him going there. But I think the fact that Ron Rivera changed that environment and pretty much did it with that quarterback. What was his name? Heineke? They did all of that. They made the playoffs, and he actually showed up in that game with pretty much a third or fourth string quarterback. If they can get a guy like Rodgers with Scary Terry, that would be a scary sight. That really would. That really would be a scary sight. Washington, Seattle, or Denver. I mean, not Seattle. San Francisco or Denver. Those 3 teams would really benefit from Aaron Rodgers if he was to go there. I don't know what that cryptic Instagram post with Rodgers and Devontae Adams. I don't know what that means. We're still trying to dissect that. Maybe you may know, Lawrence, the Scottie Pippen and MJ thing, the Instagram post. The NFL is actually in a crazy spot with everything going on with the policies and stuff. A lot of players are trying to back out and not play next year. I mean, that could just boost the confidence for the Colts to go out there and get some more wins if a lot of players are backing out. Just saying. But the NFL's in a tough little pickle right now with these players and these rules that are changing going into next season. That if anything happens, they can forfeit games. That's going to be big next year. That's going to be big. They are tied. If Rodgers leaves the Packs, Adams won't resign with them. Gotcha. Okay. I kind of knew that, but I was trying to actually really know what he meant. I think they're going to have to clear up some of them sidelines, because I don't think it's really on the player to get, to be the reason that it happens. So it'll be forfeited, but I think it's due to a lot of people being on that sideline, like the extras. Of course, you need everybody, but it's going to be a few teams that get forfeited. I already know. I can see it now. A lot of teams. It's going to be some teams that forfeit games next year. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough unless they clear out the arena. But, I mean, they just opened the arena, so it'd kind of be unfortunate to close it back down again. So it's going to be a tough going to be a tough situation going into next year with these forfeited games and everything. I'm looking forward to see how it's going to plan out. Like I said, I booked tickets to a game, so I hope it doesn't get canceled. I really hope it doesn't. Bruce Arians, he came out earlier and said that he's going to be fining players if they don't get the vax. So it's kind of strict, man. Especially coming out the Super Bowl, look like Bruce Arians is in win mode. He wants to go back. So I totally understand. Like, I think he said like 10,000 or something like that. That's tough, man. It's a tough situation. Like I said, the NFL is in a tough pickle right now. I will not speak on that a lot, but it's kind of crazy times we're living in right now. Fan bases versus stars. It's just it's a crazy time to be alive. Really crazy. We shall see, though. We shall see. Who was that? Oh, Michael Thomas. He's not going to be able to play at the beginning due to that injury. So the Saints might take a few L's due to Michael Thomas not being available the first month. Saints might go on a losing streak. And I don't think they'll bounce back from it, too. So I think it's going to be another team that step up and take their spot in the playoffs. I think the Saints might take a step down next year due to Michael Thomas's early injury. I think they'll never really. I think they won't really never figure it out until it's too late. Yeah, I seen Wentz showed up today. I mean, Wentz is a leader, man. He's just a flat out leader. He really is, man. He shows up and supports his rooks. I mean, he worked out with pretty much everybody on his offense. He pretty much works out with his receivers and everything. He's a real leader, man. He's really a leader. It's crazy how the media and these fans, or certain fans, I would say, certain fans try to switch the narrative and think how bad of a person he is or how he's not mentally locked in. But then when you see things like that, the post early with Wentz, arriving and, with his rookies to watch at training camp, it's just, it's a good sign to see. It's a good thing to see when Wentz when he does things like that. It's a good sign. It just makes me more, level-headed, remain calmly, locked in for the season. It gives me a boost of confidence, basically. Confidence about my offense. Because that's one thing I'm really worrying about. The defense, I know how it's going to play. The offense is the question mark. The offense is the question mark, man. The consistency on the offense, how good is the run game going to be? How is Carson Wentz going to perform? How are the receivers going to execute with Carson Wentz? So the offense was really my question mark going into next season. But, Carson Wentz is showing you like, hey, man, I'm here for this team. It's never really about Carson Wentz. It's just about him playing on the field. It's about how Philly media made him look. That's what the Philly fans feed off of. Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. And some of those writers, some people got to understand, like, the articles and everything they see, that's a human writing that. So that's their personal opinion. It's not, everything isn't facts. So when a human being writes that and you read it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, this makes sense, but you don't really know the whole story. So when the media catches your attention and you fall for the trap, I mean, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. It's okay. It's all good, though. Carson's going to be good. Carson's going to be good. We just need 50%. 50% of 2017. Not 100, 50. At least 50%. Or maybe 2018. What up, Chris? How you doing? I was just about to end the stream, man. Appreciate you for stopping by, though. To hit the 30-minute mark, talking about Malik Hooker and other free agents and Carson Wentz. He said, we also live in a clickbait era, so the media tries to take anyone. Yeah, exactly. Or no in between. Yeah, exactly. The media try to spin a narrative on a player just by saying one thing, they can make a whole different dialect of the situation. They can make a whole nother topic of what's not even there. It's crazy how good the media is when doing that. Not gonna lie, much credit to them because they get their money's worth out of a saying or a line or a gesture. A gesture will go a long way. Like the Carson Wentz when he was upset, when he was so called upset on the sideline with I think it was Doug Peterson. They spun that whole narrative, and it wasn't even that wasn't even a thing. Oh no, I think he was upset. They say he was upset with Nick Foles or something like that, but they're like best friends. But the media makes it spin that way because Nick Foles is actually he was actually producing out there. Hey man, what's up inside the Horseshoe Podcast? David, we don't know. But appreciate you for stopping by, you guys. If you have any questions before I get up out of here, feel free to let me know. Battery's dying. Been live for 30 minutes. Hooker and Dallas. That was the topic of discussion today. Hooker and Dallas. If you want to catch up to what I was talking about, feel free to catch this post stream when it's over. Definitely catch on to that. I won't bet you. I'll just time you out because you changed your name on purpose, weirdo. Anywho, now that the trolls are starting to come alive in the comment section, that means it's time to end it. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section about Malik Hooker, move to Dallas potentially. Let me know how good you think he'll play and all these things. But I'm going to get up out of here. I got some more stuff to do. This is Marcus. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the notice to know when I'm going live. I do not have a consistent schedule, so turn on the notice when I'm going live or check the links in the description. That's where you can find me on all those platforms. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock. See you guys.